These were the most violent events that Nepal has witnessed in decades, and they began here on the streets of Kathmandu with protests by literally thousands of demonstrators, which seem to have completely overwhelmed the authorities and the police, who, according to many of the protest groups, then indiscriminately opened fire, killing and wounding scores of protesters.
I was shot. Some others died, some were injured and incapacitated. Who's going to take care of them? Will the government do that?
Eventually, the army said enough was enough, accusing a number of those taking part of being responsible for wanton destruction and looting, and imposing a curfew with troops on the street, which has largely restored an uneasy calm, but at times it does feel like an uneasy standoff as the military facilitates talks with the various protest groups on the next interim government. Although this has quickly spiraled into a much broader protest movement about corruption and inequalities in Nepalese society, it originally began as protests against government attempts to control the runaway social media space by targeting a number of platforms with regulations which the government says were needed to tackle fake news and misinformation. These protesters say it was an attempt at censorship of one of the few outlets and means of expressing their opposition to the government. And this whole movement has been notable for being driven by groups from the so-called Gen Z generation of young people born around the turn of the century, who now seem to have an outsized influence in shaping a future Nepal. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Kathmandu.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.